of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Nat Clay, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Rabentau, Edwin, Arcadia Lunashine, Anathus Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Suno Chicano, Celesto Nautrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandalu Storm Arrow, Tex, Kylin, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Cheshire Saltiri, Celine DeLune, Wubsta Wolf, Severa, Circa Barrakiel, AJ Brainswordson, Kazron, Ventos Tia, and Edward Allond. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 349. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and Rollo Des.
Happy Eurovision today, isn't that today?
No, it's not.
What?
But
We wouldn't
good
be
attempt.
here.
Good attempt, Rollo.
know.
Today was the last. We watched another show called Adresse Liverpool, which is just a hype show for Eurovision, essentially.
Yeah.
But yes, this is.
It's the day after Cinco de Mayo, so that must mean something.
It is, however, Coronation Day.
Oh, yes.
Charles
God
III.
save the king,
Charles
boys.
III was crowned today. Historic moment. Whether you like it or not, it is a historic moment. And I watched it, and it was as funny and pompous and stupid as I wanted it to be. Perfect. Congratulations, everyone.
It was a good one.
Probably
I
the
am
last.
once again a Christian.
Yes, Mela's Christian again because he saw a nice church.
Is he born again?
That's how he converts.
Once again.
That's how you win Mela over.
Show me nice buildings.
The moment you open a
nice
Bible,
architecture.
Yeah.
the moment you open a
Sure
Bible,
you-
however, Mela falls off. It's like no.
Yeah, a bit long.
He's here for the
Oh,
architecture,
how many
not the
pages?
books.
The minute they started reading from the Bible, Mela was out.
You can
Yeah.
say Westminster Abbey looks crazy.
It's a beautiful building.
That shit's been through a lot, and you can tell like it has been remodeled and rebuilt, and
I don't want a modern church. I like old, historical
one that has like
buildings.
lots of history in it
Lots
as well.
of stories to it.
Yeah,
A fun thing in my architecture book for class, they were like, "Yeah, so this book is just about churches because that's the only thing that fucking matters." Pre like 17th century,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah.
Sort of
It's-
true.
It's the case
Castles.
that, like church. Well, no, but they're not designed for aesthetics normally.
No.
Churches were like the forefront and like the people that paid for fancy buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not what we're here to talk about.
No.
No.
Let's talk about your favorite architecture, guys. Come on.
No. It was just to point out that this episode took place, just so we are in the history books, on the
Yeah.
coronation day of Charles III.
And you did try and give us a happy something day, and that was the only one
Yeah,
that was actually
you
true.
ignored the actual day that is significant today.
Yeah.
But next week's Eurovision, so that's fun.
And next week is Eurovision.
And we won't
you were
be
cut.
here that day.
We will not be here. We'll be here on Sunday instead. Anyways, welcome to the show.
Hey.
We will be talking about. There's another update to the 6.4 website, which annoyingly happened just a few days after our episode about the updated 6.4 website. But we're going to talk about that today. But we're also going to talk about the Relic today. So look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't-
the
don't-
Schadenfreude. It's so real.
You will shut up, Rollo.
Bottle your anger. Bottle your anger.
There's gonna be
I love it when things you like are bad.
yeah.
Bottle yourself.
We'll be reading Mogmail.
It's like-
speakersxtv.com/mogmail. Yes.
Antisocial take.
Stay tuned for the post show. We'll be answering questions from the syndicate. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I have to. So channel updates starts now. For a while, I have been for the entirety of this channel's existence, I have been editing with a software called Vegas. Right?
Oh,
I've said
this
this
the end?
before that Vegas, I chose that because it's the most removed from like professional software that I use for work, right? Because it feels like it's just a casual, it doesn't, it's easy. But it also, because of that, it lacks a lot of functions, which I've just learned to live with Vegas. But I'm going to go through this story as fast as I can because I already said this on Friday. But so Thursday afternoon, I'm gonna do some editing. I open up Vegas. It does not launch. I try again and again and again and again, and the program just does not launch. It opens the splash screen, doesn't launch. It doesn't even crash. I checked the event viewer, no errors. It does not report it. The program just closes. So I start going through the registry to try to sort, I go troubleshoot, find all these solutions online about hey, this is how you reset your registry, or this is how you fix Vegas not launching. Could not get it to work. I was then told to reset Vegas by using a Control-Shift launch, which will, and I cannot emphasize how painful this is, it will reset all of your settings, all of your presets, anything that you've modified. I have settings that are literally like a decade old in Vegas, all wiped in an attempt to just get the software to run. And then we had to do, but it did not launch. And then we had to do Raid, and then we had to do a very tense Star Trek viewing for my part, after which I was like, I need to fix this. I cannot go to bed unless I fix this. Everything we do is done in Vegas. Every single project file is Vegas. I roll back.
Right now is Vegas.
Everything you see has been... So I go back I roll back. I used 20. That was the version number. I went back to 19 in hopes that this would work. This would, of course, render essentially all of the current project files unopenable. You can't open Vegas 20 files in 19. You can't go that way. It did the same thing. It did not launch. So I go back to a system restore point, just arbitrarily a week back, just to see, even though I know I hadn't done anything to my computer. This broke every single file extension in my computer. I couldn't open anything. Nothing worked. And then people, and some of the advice I found on Google was, your drive is corrupted now. You've lost all your files. So I panic, of course, but I found another solution, which essentially meant reinstalling every single Windows app. And it also reset every default. So everything that I have changed to open in certain programs now defaults to all the Windows apps. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's maybe 6 a.m. at this point. I said, I cannot go to bed unless I fix this. I can't sleep if I don't fix this. I just happened to catch a break, and I just scroll through Reddit in just deep depression when I see just a post on the Vegas subreddit. This was a mistake that they had made. They had inadvertently broken every version of Vegas up to I think it was 18 up to 20, completely unusable in an attempt to prevent piracy. They had broken every single version of the program. And there are so many builds of Vegas between 18 and 20. And a lot of people don't upgrade for different reasons. Maybe they use plugins that don't support older versions and stuff. This is quite devastating for a lot of people that use Vegas. And they had apparently sent out an email that I didn't get. I pay for it, by the way. I pay a monthly subscription for Vegas.
Wait, is Vegas monthly now? Too?
Yes, they have a
Everything's
monthly
now,
sub.
Rono.
Fuck this world. This
I know,
sucks.
I know. They broke it, and it was so broken. So they're like, okay, here's an emergency backup that they like released hours after they'd broken it, and the download speed was 20 kilobytes a second.
Oh, that's nice.
The
Quite
post
fast,
was
actually.
just flooded with people going, I have a video that I have to deliver in 1 hour, and I am downloading at 10 kilobytes per second. I cannot access any of my files. What is happening? It turns out, and this is the funniest fucking part, the only way to launch Vegas, this is a pro tip, I guess, if you for some reason haven't updated, is to completely disable your internet. Only then will it. You cannot block it through firewall. I tried doing that. You have
The same
to
way
turn
if you're
off.
trying to pirate it. Basically.
Yeah.
I know.
It didn't even work.
And it has
The
come.
antivirus
And for
failed.
some reason, they have completely destroyed every like. I don't know why they've done this. It's broken, and it doesn't tell you anything. It just closes. So I was like, "This is it. I'm done. I am gonna learn DaVinci Resolve again. I'm gonna go back."
Da Vinci.
Yeah, I've decided
about to
now.
say.
I am not going to Adobe's stuff, even though I'm probably going to use After Effects and Photoshop and all that still. But, you know, you can't get me in Premiere. I'm sorry. But
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I just out of curiosity, because I fucking bought a license to Vegas 14 like years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Because it was so cheap. It launched just fine. By the
Yeah,
way.
14, 15, 16. I think it starts to struggle at 17, 18, 19, 20. Those are completely broken. And
That's-
because you can
surprised.
never launch the app, they cannot fix it, right? So because there's no app to like, you can't go into Vegas. It can't self-update. It's fucked. But there's also another thing I hate about Vegas, which I am glad I'm done with. They started doing this really intrusive, like you have to update a screen that pops up with like a huge gross yellow bar, and it stops opening the program, like the project file, until you have like, either dismissed it or installed the update. You can never turn that off. That will always be there until you update. Fuck you. I'm done.
Vegas, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah,
Is
it's over.
DaVinci Resolve Studio? That's like the only version. It's not like a pro version.
There's a pro.
Isn't it free?
Oh, is there a pro
There's a
version?
free version as well, but yeah.
But there's like a DaVinci Resolve Studio. It's like £300. That's
Yes,
really
that's the one.
cheap for
Yeah.
video editing software compared to like Adobe Creative All, whatever it's called. That's
Yeah.
like £50+ per month.
Mm-hmm.
So you've already paid off DaVinci by having it for like.
I have
6
used
months anyway.
DaVinci before, and it is
It seems
really
really
good.
reasonable.
It has a lot of features that I'm familiar with, and it's got a longer workflow. If I'm gonna get technical, it'll slow down your workflow a little bit, but you get used to that. So,
But I think it's definitely more. You can do a lot more with it than you could with Vegas. Vegas feels so bare bones compared
yes,
to. Like,
absolutely. Vegas is
which
always
I think is nice for me because I'm not a fucking video editor.
right. Yeah. But anyways,
I am
yeah. go on.
surprised and saddened that it took you this Reddit post didn't come up when you were googling, and
It didn't.
also on a slightly unrelated note, I'm also surprised at the amount of people that have come out of the woodworks to say that they use ancient versions of Windows Movie Maker in response to this story.
Yes, that is crazy. Yeah.
At least Windows Movie Maker's easy.
It's got a
That's
timeline.
Not
and
wrong.
Mm-hmm. There's a
Does he have
timeline.
Drag and drop, baby. That's all you need. Drag and drop.
Well, what that means for us is that I now have to convert every single project that we
But
have.
you can do
with
that now. You can get into Vegas.
all of our setting, I say ours, but it technically is because it
Mine.
concerns the
Collectively
entire
edit.
show.
Together.
We do it all, yeah.
Everything that I have for even the podcast VODs for YouTube has to be like convert, like the end screens, the on-screen graphics for everything. So there might be a slight delay in everything for like a week. That's why there's no minimum eye level this week. Like video.
I'm going to say that there's going to be more than one reason there might be a slight delay this week.
Yeah. Also,
also
there's
true.
also this all happens. Thank fuck
Well, this is
that
why
I
my Final Fantasy
finished.
X playthrough was so delayed as well, guys. Just want to get that out.
I am so glad I finished all of the Eurovision stuff before this happened. Because
Oh,
God
you'd have been
help
a
me if
stressed
that had,
boy.
yeah, that would have been awful.
I'm
Uh,
so sorry.
Yeah,
This is-
well, it is what it is.
hey, this is a lesson. DRM usually just ends up hurting the normal consumer.
Yes, yes.
More than
Well,
it does the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go to like a little bit of effort to stop piracy, sure, but when it's to the detriment of your customers,
surely-
your paying customers.
They must have done this in a test environment to see if it worked
Yeah,
before they
don't-
rolled it out.
Idiots.
But this
Don't
wasn't
push
even a.
something out that bricks your software.
But you would
Yeah.
think this was something they can just turn back off because nothing was patched. It was just they changed.
Don't do DRM.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
I guess.
it's never not been got around.
Yeah.
It's never not been cracked. And it's
Well,
always made
the
your software
reason-
harder to use.
The reason DRM exists is because it does minimize the amount of piracy. It doesn't make
It
it all
slows
go
it
away,
down
but it,
because it
slows it
takes
down.
time to
Yes.
crack,
And
and
then-
that's what they want.
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
It's not enough though, surely.
It's
It
not
is
enough to
enough.
prevent. It's not enough to prevent piracy, but it's enough for them to get their initial sales. That's the important period. Is
Yes.
the launch period. So that's why they do it.
Well,
But, goodbye.
some people don't
Magic,
use it, and I feel like they make a heck of a lot of money anyway, like CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's see. Anyways, that was. We're not done with channel updates. I did mention the Eurovision show because we just finished. Last week we finished the Eurovision countdown. So starting next week, remember Eurovision. So the first semi is on May 9th, 11th of May, the second semi, and on 13th of May we have the grand final. The VOD for the Eurovision countdown is up now, so you have to go to the Eurovision Eurovision 23 channel, I think, or something like that.
That's good.
It's on. If you're a patron, Supreme, or Master, you can see it in the Patreon channel
Yes.
list.
2023.
Right. Okay.
Make sure you tick show all channels if you still haven't, and Discord's still messed up for you
Yes.
in the top left.
Yes. Remember to do that. Also, there will be VODs for all of the semis and the grand final as well, but they will come later. Okay, we're also looking for mods. Speakersclv.com/mods 2023. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Hey,
Please
if you
continue
become a
sending
mod,
your application.
I'll write you poetry for a week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a yeah. I'll write you a little poem.
Yeah.
For seven poems for a week straight. And they might
I'll
be
draw you
good. They
personal
might be
art.
bad.
Okay.
We should.
You'll get poetry.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I'm
art.
gonna say this is not mandatory if you become a mod.
No.
If this
Mandatory-
makes you not
mandatory
if it-
gift.
if this makes you not want to be a mod, do not worry. You do not have to receive poems from Rollo.
It is also not a guarantee because it might take a while, and we might have forgotten by the time we've
If-
selected a mod. So
If I
Yeah.
forget, just remind me, and I'll.
Yeah.
If you want it, I'll write you poetry.
Mhm, mhm.
I've been practicing for the past month or so. You know.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
just remember that next week's podcast will be on Sunday.
That's
not on
right.
Saturday.
That's right.
Mm.
Okay. That's
Thank
all of our woes and updates out of the way. Let's jump into recent events. And we are starting with some, almost said housekeeping. This is some maintenance stuff. North American Data Center maintenance has been announced for May 9th. This is the infrastructure. This is an infrastructure update. I will read the post. In order to perform maintenance on the infrastructure, maintenance will take place on the North American Data Center at the time below, during which all North American Data Center worlds will be unavailable. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and we thank you for your understanding. Starting on May 9th, 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. PDT, which is a long time. Not
It
long.
is a long time.
Yeah, it is a long
It's
time.
also a strange length of time.
Yeah, it's not a full, like... Yeah, it's weird. Why...
It's 10 hours. Normally, when we have maintenance, it's like 4 or 8
Yeah.
or 12 or 24.
Yeah.
10 is
Yeah.
strange.
Yes.
Suspicious.
This will affect all North American data center worlds and the usual stuff. It says that this is important news. The Final Fantasy XIV companion app will also be undergoing maintenance. So
What, for everyone?
yes. So
Even
Oh,
not just
no.
North
I'm
American
so
users? What
sorry.
the
There will
hell?
be a disruption of service for the
Oh my
companion app
God.
for all of you people using that.
What if
so
you've been getting messages on the companion app? You didn't even know. You
I
don't
would
have it
never
installed?
know. I have come.
I
I
would
think
never
it has
know.
reached the
I
point
have not
on my
checked it.
phone where it has like uninstalled it because I never use it. So it's just like
Oh.
there. So I need to
Mm.
re-download it.
Oh, it never got to that point for me because I just uninstalled
You
it
just
myself.
uninstalled it yourself. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Okay. There will be times where server status. Sorry. This maintenance will have the following impacts due to maintenance on the infrastructure. The Lodestone / Final Fantasy XIV companion app / Mog Station / online store will take longer than usual to reflect character information from North American data center worlds that were changed immediately prior to the maintenance. There will be times where server status for North American data center worlds cannot be viewed on the Lodestone, and there will be times where characters from North American data center worlds will not be able to register new accounts or edit character information on the Final Fantasy XIV forums. So that's a reminder for the 9th.
Is that not obvious?
Well, they have
I mean,
to.
it's good to include it. It's just
They
like
have to say that.
there'll be
Yeah.
times while we're maintaining all of the North American worlds, and they will be offline where you cannot make new characters or
Yeah.
like,
I think-
obviously.
I mean, I think this exists because there's always going to be people
Oh,
that
yeah.
will try and do something and then they'll complain and then
Yeah.
Why can't I make a
the
character?
support-
I pay for this service.
the support person can just lead them to this particular Lodestone post.
Yeah. Or Square Enix Game Masters.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That is coming up May 9th. Okay. Which is also the first semi of Eurovision.
Oh.
Okay. We're gonna do some Yoshi-P providing updates segment.
Picture being used because this is for 16. This
yeah.
is not for
It's
14.
worth
But,
it, though.
but it's the
Worth it.
new meme where he's like exhausted. He
Tired
does
old
this like
man.
every year.
People have compiled a lot of pictures of Yoshi-P lying down,
Yeah.
exhausted
Yeah.
after certain
Yeah.
media blitzes.
In a recent interview with Famitsu, and this is from Famitsu.
This translation is from Silicon Era.
Yeah, it's gone through a lot of things here, but yes, it's Famitsu Silicon Era Speakers of Eidolon. That's
Yeah.
the
This is the main, the best part of it.
yeah.
Love this game. It's hella fun.
In a recent interview with Famitsu Naoki, Yoshi-P Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, talked about some of the new content included in the upcoming patch 6.4. He wants players to think about the meaning of the Dark Throne in Japanese.
Oh.
What is that?
It'll explain in the next
okay.
paragraph. Keep reading.
He also talked about the new Pandemonium, Anabaseus raids,
Anabaseus.
and the new variant and Criterion dungeon Mount Rockon.
Come on, dude.
Patch 6.4 of Final Fantasy XIV is titled The Dark Throne in English, and its Japanese title roughly translates to The Throne of the Offender or Throne of the Criminal.
Throne of the Criminal.
Yoshi-P said that he wants people to imagine what the throne in the title references to, as well as who the offender in the Japanese title might be.
Who is the
That's
offender in the
interesting.
Japanese title?
Us, we're the offenders. I love offending.
I'm surely the throne's a little
That's
bit more
One of the least surprising things you've ever said.
obvious.
The offender.
Well,
I mean,
the offender's like there's room for speculation on that, but is there much room for speculation on what the throne is?
well,
I would surely it's Golbez's throne. I mean, how many other thrones
Do you
are there
mean-
currently within the
Yeah,
story?
but would they name the whole patch after his chair? I think it's a metaphor for something.
yeah. The main story of the 6.x series of patches and the Pandemonium raids are entering its climax with patch 6.4. Pandemonium Anabaseus is the new series of 8-player raids that will be introduced with 6.4. Yoshi-P apologized for the mistakes in balance made for the previous Pandemonium Abyssos raids, particularly for the last level of its Savage version. He also added that the clear rate for this series of raids has been increasing steadily since the 4.x patches and since raising the item level.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well, so no worries there, Yoshi-P.
Mm-hmm. Yoshi-P also talked about Mount Rock-On, the new variant and Criterion dungeon being introduced in patch 6.4. Yoshida said that about 4 different themes for the new variant dungeon were proposed during the planning stage. However, since there wasn't a lot of Japanese-style content in patch 6.4, and considering some of the future content being developed for Final Fantasy XIV, they decided to go with a more Eastern theme for the new variant dungeon. NPCs will also be able to accompany the player to Mount Rock-On.
Well, no one asked for a more Eastern theme, Yoshi-P. Some of us asked for more of Eorzea. Some of us asked for, the Black Shroud, maybe.
Well, what's interesting about that is it suggests that we probably won't be going to the Far East anytime soon, or at least probably not in 7.0.
That's fine by me. Well,
Yeah,
some
whatever.
parts of the Far East I still want to explore, but
Random question, but like, what like era is Kyushu supposed to be like? Oh, not Kyushu, whatever. What am I thinking of?
Hingashi?
Hingashi.
Gosh, I don't know why I
Yeah.
said Kyushu. that's a Japanese
That's the
restaurant I
real
go
one.
to often.
It's
It's an
Yeah,
island.
really
Kyushu
good
is
sake,
also
by the way.
it's also Kyushu is also one of the 4 islands that
Yeah.
main islands that make up Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Sorry, Hingashi.
Yeah.
I always wondered what like era it's supposed to be. You know, like it's Japanese count. Like, is it like a Meiji era type thing, or is it
It's
feud?
it's at an early stage of opening up, but it would be at a
Yeah, I
part
would
where
say, like-
like pre World War II, obviously, but it'd be like
Yeah, I would say like the 1800s.
yeah,
Mm.
like maybe Renaissance Japan, where they're starting to open up some levels of trade, but it's still a close.
Renaissance Japan. I don't know if that's ever been what it's called.
No, but
Oh no, that's,
from our
that's- that's
perspective, it's the
Meiji era.
Renaissance period. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a random thought. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sure. I'll take what you give me, Yoshi-P. I'll take what you give me. I have
Who
no
do you
choice.
think the NPC or NPCs, because this has it in plural for some reason, that will be accompanying us in Mountain Rock-On?
We've done this before, haven't we? We've already provided. We've already talked about this. But
It's not, they
sure.
said it wasn't Hancock, right? Or what was it?
I don't think
I
it'll be
don't think they've said anything about Hancock. It could be
Chitauri.
Gosetsu.
Again. I mean, not again.
possible. Gorsetsu possible.
Also, you
Yeah.
may have said Kyushu because one of the islands is called Koshu, right? There's
Oh.
Shishu and Koshu.
Okay. Well, there's something.
That's something to cling on to, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. We've had this.
Not Heian.
Not.
No, I mean,
That's how I remember it
I-
because we had this discussion about
Yeah.
it cannot be Heian because it's in the wrong place.
Yugiri?
I don't think it would be Yugiri either
No.
because I don't see why like Hien's like top bodyguard would be there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No.
It's a difficult one. I can't think of any like prominent
Gyodo,
Hingashi
maybe?
people.
Oh yeah.
Gyodo, it could be
maybe.
Gyodo.
I mean, it could be anyone.
Probably a lot of people,
to be
but
honest,
we don't
could be
actually know
anyone
a huge
from
amount of
Althard.
Hingashians.
No.
It could be the worst of them all, Kageyama. It's the bane of our existence at all stages.
I
yeah.
don't.
He's back
I
again.
would be surprised.
Yeah.
He's there for the money, and he has to like trick us by saying, "Oh no, it's gotta explore.
Why
That
not?
our warrior
I
of light
guess.
would ever willingly work alongside Kageyama.
No, true. It could be some relation to the auspices, maybe because they
That's
snuck on
possible.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
Any of those, cut one out, Lukiel, if it's correct. Black and white moment.
Right.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Bish, bash, bosh.
Yeah. Okay. Any more thoughts about the Dark Throne? I don't. Why he always says such weird things.
Well,
like-
even if we're thinking metaphorically, as in terms of, a leader of whatever the world, or it all just comes back to Golbez in my mind, or the seat of pandemonium is potentially
Did I not read somewhere that was also Throne of the Usurper or something? Like, wasn't that also floating around? I think I saw that on the subreddit as a possible
I remember
translation
hearing
as well.
about that. Yeah.
So
Maybe.
that is also an interesting take. I mean, it's not. Maybe this isn't his throne to claim. Maybe
No, maybe not.
this that might be something. But again, we don't really know much about Golbez or his what he has done, which I'm assuming we're going to
Maybe
dive into.
Ashdaya is the one who has usurped it, or will usurp it.
Oh yeah,
Possibly.
that's possible. Yeah.
I'm quite big on the floating theory of Ashdaya being the mastermind
Yeah.
and has somehow been corrupted and is controlling Golbez. I know people might not want her to be evil, but I kind of like that as a theory.
I like that too because
I'm not against.
Yeah, go on, Gurgi.
I'm not against her being evil. I just feel like it's a bit cliched.
It is a little bit cliche.
Yeah, but I feel like it's going to be
We need
cliche.
a pass to the Mericidia, and her being evil might be a good pass to Mericidia.
I think it might be cliche either way, though, because it'll be cliche if she's evil. It's going to be cliche if we just save her as well. She's like,
Well,
oh,
true.
he's got me under his spell or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes they do good nuance with their villains.
yes.
but-
I mean, yeah. I mean, consider where we were in 4.2 with Yotsuyu. We thought she
Yeah.
would just be redeemed, and then we really liked her.
Yotsuyu was well
At
done.
the end of her story ended up playing out in 4.3.
Yeah.
And
that's
we
true.
can never forget our favorite antagonist of all time, Xenos. Has many layers to him, despite everyone hating him. He's at least a very, very reasonably. He's a very strange character because he flips between a lot of different.
I disliked him less at the end of Endwalker.
Yeah, exactly.
But
He's always had one goal, but he always flips between these different moods involved.
yeah. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that's not where this ends. Because in a
Well, this is the best bit.
second interview with Dengeki,
Translated by Leifitor from the subreddit.
in the previous two stages of Manderville weapon, both elegant tombstones were used to exchange required items. But will patch 6.45 be the same? Or will it be a new process?
It'd be a new process, surely, because
Yoshi-P
surely they can't get away with it.
turns to the interviewer, looks them straight in the eye. He lights up a cigarette. I don't want to say, this is what I'm going to collect before the implementation. And then he laughs. He laughs. The intention is that you can also strengthen while playing the content. So please rest assured that there will be no major changes.
No, it's broken. Oh, that's so. I mean, how can you not laugh at this? Like, come on.
Because it upsets us, Rollo.
This
That's
is
how
too
we
e-
cannot laugh at.
Bro, this is
so-
2 relics in a row.
2 in a
That is-
row.
2 in a row?
I don't think we can say. I mean, if you're going to happily say Eureka was.
No. Oh,
And
I have
also
always
the
been
most
pro
recent was Bosnia.
Bosnia was between.
Oh, well, Bosnia was in between.
I was
Sorry, yeah, Bosnia.
I
But
would-
that wasn't much of a change. All right, Bosnia, fine. I'll accept Bosnia.
Okay, listen, that kettle bullshit. Like, that
But
was
Eureka
horrible.
was bad.
It was
But
at
Bosnia
least
wasn't that
at
bad.
least it was something.
Yeah,
Whereas
I agree with
I'll
you,
give it
Kyo.
that.
yeah, this is nothing. He has
I'm going to
killed
say
it.
3 in a row then. 3 in a row.
What, 3 in a row? What?
I don't think Eureka was all that good, and I don't think Bosnia was a revelation on top of that formula. But
Are we
this,
talking
I
about
mean,
Bosnia was.
The relic or the adventure zones now?
the relic,
I think he's
Specifically
talking
the
about
relic.
the process of getting the relic.
the relic
I
step.
mean,
They're all miserable. It's a grind.
But
Yeah.
Heavenswood and A Realm Reborn were varied.
I would say no. I would say that Bosnia and Eureka were varied as well. It's just a matter of if they were to your tastes, and for
Well,
whatever reason
maybe.
they weren't.
I mean, I enjoyed the Bosnia one at least. This one's just trash. I mean, this isn't even a relic.
Well, they've essentially he's just essentially saying that they're not doing anything for the
They're not doing a relic.
Relic used to be a separate system that was completely optional. You did not have to do the relic if you were raiding, for instance, which I feel like were a lot of the people that were complaining. Or you didn't have to do the relic. It wasn't something you had to do, but it was content that was optional. For some reason, and I guess because no one ever was ever happy with the relic, but that's just the life of a relic, because you remember as you progress throughout the years, people will have nostalgic feelings about the way they used to do relics back in the day, because they want that to come back. I don't think they should go back and give them that, because that's nostalgia. It's just a powerful drug. They'll complain if you go back. I just know that. We would complain either way. We'd sit there and be like, this was not how I remembered it. It was this and that and this and that, which is how it is.
To diagnose nostalgia as an illness.
Right. And in this case, I agree. Nostalgia in an MMO is an illness, because you'll never get that feeling again. That will never happen.
Get the feeling again.
And it's sad, but it's true. Yes, Rollo.
I still think it's crazy that how many expansions in more now, and they still have not decided on a formula for relics.
I find that interesting though.
Yeah.
Because they have for so many other bits of content.
Well, it's because I think they actually cared about the relic at some point, and they wanted it to be special every time, wanted it to be a unique experience, because the storyline demanded it, right? We had different storylines for each relic type. There was the whole thing about the first A Realm Reborn relic was literally finding a relic and restoring it.
And you had to restore it, and then you had to have the anima.
And then the anima
grew the anima creature within it.
Yes.
Oh, it was so good.
And
then they made it so there was no story because the Shadowbringers ones were shit. And then they made Bozja.
Sorry, in the Shadowbringer one.
Sorry, Stormblood.
So that's Eureka you're shitting on now.
Eureka
had a story.
It has a story.
Eureka had a story. The relics didn't.
They were.
The Relic had a story.
They
were
the
from
BA.
the.
Yeah.
They were
Valdesian Arsenal. That's
it was
the whole
weak,
point.
Though. Same with the.
You didn't. I mean, to be fair, disclaimer: Mela dropped off at Pagos, so he has not finished.
That is true.
Yes.
I didn't do the Eureka Relic, but even I know that there's a story behind the weapon.
But not a very compelling one.
I can understand your perspective that the origin of them is not intriguing in the sense that they all have the same origin, essentially. They were all created for the same purpose. But I disagree that there's not a reason for why they exist.
Right. Same for what came after Bozja.
Yeah.
There's obviously the
They were
resistance.
just the Queen's Blades.
Yeah, Queen's Blades.
Okay, I pose this question to you. What is the difference between a Mandeville weapon and buying a tombstone weapon?
Nothing.
This is cheaper.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper. You don't have to do any required content to get that last key to unlock the weapon. You just
So in
get the
what
weapon.
universe is this? The only way this is a grind is if you're working on many relics, which isn't how it's meant to work.
Well, that's what I thought they had solved in they made it easier to get. Remember in Eureka, we talked about this. Actually.
They were
once you had obtained your first weapon,
I agree with that. Change.
All the other ones were super easy to get. You just did the initial difficult grind for the one Eureka weapon, after which you had essentially unlocked the ability to. You just needed the 3 feathers, right? The Pazuzu feathers and the arbitrary currency, whatever it was in Eureka, which was super easy to get. And people did trains that just went, and it was super. It was just you would get it easy. I thought that was the recipe going forward, but I was wrong.
The issue is that the old comparison between the raid weapon and the relic weapon is that the raid weapon was something. It was a question of whether you wanted to, if you were willing to use up your time or use up your skill.
Yes.
Whereas now, interestingly, this requires neither.
Yeah.
And arguably, the tombstone and raid weapons require both.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. It's interesting because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, 1,500. How much is it? 1,500 tomes?
1,500 tomes.
It doesn't even
still
require
takes a
you
while.
to cap again.
But that
less than a week, I feel like, just by
It is less than a week.
Yeah, and people be like, people don't play the game as much as you. Yeah, but this is a fucking relic. Have you forgotten what the content is? This is not supposed to last a week.
especially right now when I'm doing more content as a result of the Mogtome event. I have gotten like 3 relic steps done
Yeah.
in the space
Yeah.
of like 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's
I don't know if it's like a side effect of this relic, but I'm actually working on my Heavensward Paladin.
I'm tempted
Relic.
to go back to just
I
to
started
feel
doing it,
something.
Just to feel
and I've done my Luminous
Uh,
Crystal grind. It's only 1 each now, so it's not hard. But I
Right.
had to do that. I've done the going through all the dungeon step, unsynced,
I like that
which was a
step.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently at the one where you have to get the 4 items using the unidentified ore seeds and whatever.
I don't
That
mind 'cause there's so many-
requires it requires 1,500 poetics per section, so it's 4 of them. So it's 6,000. 6,000 poetics
Yeah.
for 1 step. The step after requires, I think, another 1,500. And it's like 4,000 plus or something.
There are
That's loads of poetics. That's more than the cap. So you have to grind for it.
Yeah.
Isn't that not the point?
I mean, also, there are many ways to get the unidentified items. You can get them from
Yes.
beast tribes. You
Mhm.
can get them from leaves, remarkably.
Yes.
There are like quite a few different methods by which you can get unidentified items.
That's
whereas
how it
this-
should be.
It's
I guess arguably you could say there are multiple ways to get tomes, but
But-
Yeah,
and
not
let's-
quite the same.
Let's be clear about something though. We were fine with the first step being like an entry payment.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I'll never.
So you
Yeah,
can all
because it's
get-
the same with most of them. You go into Utsorn, you do a very small quest, you find your Stardust Rod,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're done.
I
Yeah.
would
Asha has a really cool one because they had that really cool instance you have to do, which is start.
it does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then after,
I-
it's just the 5 whatever many times.
It's just tomes actually to get it after that. I would argue that Heavenswood probably has the worst first step
Yes.
because it involves
With the astral and
RNG.
umbral nodules.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one's kind of
I-
rough.
that is one.
But it's
thing
only
I will
one
say
per
I
thing now, and it doesn't take long.
No.
That's one thing I never want to see again. Never make me do something and have it be an RNG chance for me to get the reward.
No. That I feel like
I
They had to
I
increase
don't
the drop
hate
rate,
that.
like,
I would be okay with that if there was a pity mechanic involved somehow, where like
I don't
after you've
trust them to
done
make
10,
that.
you're guaranteed to get it after 10, but you can get it earlier, something like
Mhm.
that. I'm fine with that level of RNG. I liked with the Heavenswood one though, if you'd completed your A Realm Reborn one, you can skip the first step, and I think that's a
Well,
cool
you-
step.
yes.
I agree. I don't like how you actually had to outright give them your weapon.
Well, no,
so
I agree with
From
that.
that point
I-
on, you can only get the replicas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like
You'll
that.
never have
I
the
like to have
original
my
one that
originals.
says the name.
No.
I'll
Yeah.
never not have my original. I'm not giving them up.
No. So do you think this is it now? This is what they're
Yes, what's the point? Just enjoy the Hildebrand
Well,
and don't bother with this.
I-
Waste
I
time.
think they'll come back with something, and it'll be something weird again.
yeah.
Whether
the
it be
last-
Adventure Zone or
Not an
foray,
adventure zone.
or maybe they'll tie
not
it
like
to
Oh, do you mean for the next expansion?
next
Yeah,
expansion.
for the
Oh,
next
okay.
expansion.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not
maybe. Yeah,
against-
maybe.
I'm not against them coming back with a new adventure zone. I feel like once the whole team is back together again, now that 16 is complete, well, unless there's DLC that they decide to make, there is a chance that we will get more focus on some of these things that they're able to more easily push to the side in regards to content for this game.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think for this expansion, maybe the overwhelming negative feedback from all of these relic steps, maybe the last one they'll put a bit of effort in, like for the final step. But I think we're writing it off for this expansion to relic. And
Yeah,
for the next one, we're going to need something special.
Even if there is something at the very end for the final part, it's too late to save this relic
Yeah.
quest line.
We're not going to go like, oh, that was a great step.
Yeah,
and
that's
and
not gonna
forget
happen.
the 2 years
Well,
of
what's-
1,500 times.
What's so crazy, and I feel like a lot of people are, because I've seen a lot of people on the other side being like, well, I don't have time to play the game. Well, I
It's an
don't really know how to
MMORPG.
say this to you, but then maybe the relic isn't for you, or you can
Yes.
do the relic at your whatever how long it
Well,
takes. You don't have
yeah.
to do it in like a week. You can. Well, that's
Mm.
what you do now. If you get it in a week, this
Well,
is supposed
yeah.
to take a long time. But what is annoying is that we have lost significant like content that's supposed to like make the wait for a new patch feel less awful, because you can
Yeah.
always work
You're
on
meant
your
to get
relic.
a cool, unique weapon with a nice bit of lore tied to it for your job.
Yeah, I'm just, if you feel like offended by our like outburst now about like how how shitty the current step is because you like it so you can get the relic quickly, well then maybe the relic wasn't the old
relic
relic
wasn't ever for you.
system
Or-
wasn't for you, you know.
Or maybe they can make the next relic better than just tomes and still make content that maybe you want to be included in, you know?
Yes.
I think they can still integrate it better. Like there's
They can
I
integrate it better.
I don't think they should go back to, some old formula. Like it, go back to the drawing board. Try
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
think we should have just gotten a relic if it was gonna be this. But
Yeah.
again, I don't care about relics, so this is just funny. But
I agree with Chet that Criterion and Variant dungeons were the perfect fodder for them to
Yes.
use in
And we almost
the creation
expected
of
it.
a relic.
To be tied
Yeah.
somehow, but
Or
as it is
the
right-
deep dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't liked it when they've tied the deep dungeon to previous relics. I would say
option though.
because as is the case right now with Criterion / Variant dungeons, there's little reason to do it once you've got every ending, I guess.
Exactly.
Right.
Because the rewards
There's no
aren't
reason
thrilling.
to do it.
Right.
Because all the bosses are good the first time round, but almost all of them are it's like 4 sets of bosses
Yes.
for the 8 routes or whatever.
but even with those constraints of just having one dungeon, I think you could definitely make some kind of relic system out of it. If you really like, you could be like, hey, going down this certain path guarantees you this items,
Yeah.
fighting the bosses in this set or this path. Like that's something to build off of. I mean, it's repetitive,
Of course.
but like if it's
They need a
Like,
solo roguelike.
relic.
well,
That's what they need.
there's another element to the
just run Eureka Orthos solo, maybe.
there is another aspect to this, that another function that the relic served before Eureka, and that was to keep old content alive. Which I guess Bosnia technically kind of kept its own content alive because you had to do that dungeon over and over for the item. But the zones were kept active because there were sometimes with the Atma phase you had to do the fucking Atma farming, which was horrible.
That was
but
fine.
if you'd upped the drop rates for that, it's a good way to keep. We have lots of zones now compared to then that you could maybe make active
The
again.
Bosnia one did it right and wrong in some people's eyes, but where you could do fates within Zadnor and Bosnia, or you could do like anti-tower.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part was it was way better doing it in anti-tower, but you had the
I
option.
wouldn't say better. I would say
Or quicker.
faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas with Eureka, they didn't give any option there. So going back is especially difficult for Stormblood Relic. That's going to take some commitment and some community spirit.
Eureka has... Oh, yeah, that's true. Eureka has been nerfed quite significantly since launch.
It's
Not
still
enough,
not
is it?
very easily doable.
Yeah.
No,
solo.
obviously it needs
It's
people.
difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it isn't soloable. I agree with that. But it is easier. So you can get like a group, of people.
Yeah, you can get a
maybe, and
group,
get
but
through.
how long will that last?
I'm sure there
It's
are
already-
community events
I'm
being
sure there
held.
are.
There are, for sure.
Yeah.
But they're few
That
and
you
far
can join.
between. And there might be
Yes.
only, there might be more like North American ones. There might only be a few European ones, whatever. It might be
Mhm.
hard for
Mm.
certain groups of people.
I can tell you that now that there is almost certainly one, if zero, Australian ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's difficult for Georgi, unless he's partnering with Americans or whatever.
Yeah.
They need to think about that as well.
Mhm.
So in a way, they've saved themselves with this Relic because this is very future-proof.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's
You're
Um,
never going to not be
I-
able to get these.
Chat brought up the interesting point that mog tomes are a way to keep old content alive. I don't
That's
know
true.
why the relic couldn't have been designed such as like a permanent mog tome event.
Yeah, that would have been
Mm,
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mock tomes are risk as well, though, because if you're doing
'Cause
roulettes,
as-
you don't guarantee the content you need.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun though, because that they want you to queue up for specific things.
But I wonder now, what is the point of having this relic and the tome weapon? Because
You got the tome weapon significantly earlier.
yeah, but is this just going to be a replacement? Why even have a tome
There's
weapon
no
in the
point.
first place? Just have this system
Because some
replace
people
the
might
tome
not be
weapon.
bothered to do a whole quest to get this.
A whole quest over doing.
Hildebrand.
They've got to do Hildebrand, and they might not want to put in the effort to do a whole quest when they can just go
That's
click
true.
on an NPC.
That's true. That's a good point.
Hildebrand is a massive commitment still if you haven't started.
That makes it even shittier, by the way, because you have to go through all of this Hildebrand story, which is very enjoyable. That's not the problem. But if you hate that kind of shit, and then you get, well, I guess if you hate this kind of shit, this is perfect. You're just getting it at the end of the road. You just have some tomes. Give me this fucking weapon. Yeah. You sweat. Go away. That's it.
You sweat.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's
He's
the
not
quest.
wrong. I will say, I think the saddest part about this is the only purpose of a relic, other than obviously to have fun in the game and make your playtime feel more significant than just sitting there, is to get a weapon that looks really cool. And you might be a Rollo and not like the effects, but they have effectless versions. But the models are cool. You'll agree with that, Rollo. And although these are cool and I like the effects, I personally think the Abyssos Savage weapons are cooler. I think they have a much nicer effect.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but significantly more difficult to obtain.
Well, exactly. But if you're doing the skill and time thing, to get a really cool weapon, and you'll feel accomplished.
I see what you mean.
Don't put in any effort and get a slightly okay looking weapon, which was meant to look like the coolest weapon, but isn't. I just feel very disappointed with the whole affair.
Yeah, because a lot of the people that were for this are people that were against the relic grind in the first place. But people like me, who liked the relic system, and you're supposed to invest time over skill here. It's just gonna be grind. This is devastating because it's gone. You've just given they gave in to all the people that were like, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to do anything in this game.
This is already a game where you can do almost nothing quite easily and progress very easily.
We have so much stuff that you don't have to do and get instant gratification in this game.
Yeah.
Why can we not have this one time sink game system? Why is that so difficult? I don't know. I will say that we also touched upon it. This might be just another case of Final Fantasy 16 taking resources away from the game, and so
which
they weren't
able
to give us a full. Yeah, they did promise, but I am coping. So
being
maybe
realistic too. It's they say they didn't take a bunch of resources from 14, but he's the director of producer of MMO and the producer. Of a mainline 16 game, which is
But then if you admit it and say, unfortunately, we were stretched thinner than we expected, I'd be much more happy with it than him just saying.
Admit that though.
No, because he said
you can't say that.
But he did say, "Rest assured, there will be no major." This is a positive.
Yeah.
There will be no major changes. Rest assured, the man says. So it's clear that this is a choice.
I'm not saying that you should accept lying. I'm just saying this is what I expect from a company.
From a company, but Yoshi-P is more than a company to us. He's an honest, good-hearted little Japanese man.
Honest.
I don't know about that.
Yoshi-P lies. We know that.
Parasocial shit here, man.
No.
I've already bought 7 rings, and I'm going to buy some more so I can be just like him.
Yeah. I mean,
I've already got my hair very hairsprayed.
You can buy so many things for this game and get it immediately from the store. So many glamour items. You can buy things from the market board. Glamour, literally.
Don't talk to me about the market
They
board.
literally re-release extreme fight weapons with additional glow that you can get just by buying it off the market board. Why did you
All of
have
the
to do this
coolest
to the
minions,
relic?
all of the coolest mounts.
Did we?
You can just sell them for
Did
money.
you have to
No.
do this to the relic?
Not all of them, I know, but
Fuck the fucking mounts, whatever, dude. The
You're an anomaly when it
You
comes
are
to
an
mounts.
anomaly.
So
I don't
many
give
people
This is an
care about mounts.
MMORPG.
Don't give a
The most
fuck
important thing in
about
an
the
MMO
fact that
is
you can
collecting
sell
mounts.
a mount.
Yeah,
think
because
they're
that
wrong
takes
about
away from the
There are
accomplishment
lots of
it.
unsellable mounts.
There
I
are,
agree
but
with
I
the
think they
kill.
should all be unsellable.
I just don't care about the
I
mounts.
disagree with that.
That's one thing, but you should be able to
I
sell.
think they should all be unsellable.
So you
Listen.
mean that you should not be able to make money unless you craft in this game or gather? There, we got him silenced, folks. It happened.
We got him.
We got
I'm
him.
not really,
Hey,
I'm not really
I'll
bothered
say-
how you make money in an MMO.
Right.
I'm still
generally,
posting
yeah.
off the sale I made when we were doing Eureka on my Ragnarok. I sold like some amount I got for like 30 million.
Right.
I'm still writing off that money.
Yeah.
I'm not dedicated it.
I mean,
Well,
it's,
yeah.
but that's
Great.
good. Yeah. That's like a way of farming content is to
Maybe.
get money.
Mailer, just wait until you get your second crack claw. Rather than giving it to Congo, you can sell it on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 3
What
million.
did you say?
aren't they?
You say crack whore?
Yes.
Yes, that
second
is
crack claw.
exactly what you're
That is
saying.
exactly what I said,
what did
Rolo.
you? No, sincerely, what did you
Crack
say?
claw.
Crack claw.
An Orthos
Crack
crack
claw.
claw.
Yeah.
Hey, crack. Sorry, that was just.
Sorry,
That's
I
the
think if
name
you
of-
enunciate it,
it's-
claw.
Yeah,
claw.
Well, you
Claw.
mentioned Congro, and I was like, that
Oh, yeah,
might
I
be
see,
true.
okay,
don't
I
know.
can
He
s-
loves crack claws.
All right.
The crack claw is the name of the mount that drops from
Yeah.
sacks within Eureka Orthos, in the same
Platinum.
style as the Dodo and the Nightmare Pegasus.
There
Which
it
is sad because I've got that and I don't have the Night Pegasus or the Dodo.
Yeah, well, anyways, lost some content, and everything is more of the same. And I hope you're all happy, I guess, because that's what we have now. Less content.
Maybe he's lying and it will be amazing, but probably not.
I don't know. That's
He lies all the time. He lies.
He
So-
does
He
lie.
lies as easily
He
as he
lies.
breathes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone always gets on Todd Howard for lying. Come on, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd
Put the
Howard's the
picture-
most honest man in gaming compared to Yoshi-P.
Don't put the picture. Don't believe his lies. With
Yeah.
like, a picture.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I just think that's just the nature of game development. I mean, you have goals in plans, and sometimes it just doesn't work out or plan, and people are just still going to hold you to it. You said in an interview like 10 years ago, you know.
But
I
it-
agree, yeah.
It just feels like, did we really need the relic then? Like, because
I'd
I
have been
agree.
happy
I
with
mean, I
just
think-
Hildebrand.
I
It's just
don't
attack
disagree
on.
with you. I just feel like people would have complained if there wasn't one at all. I
Yeah.
feel like it. I don't even necessarily feel like it's because of 16. I feel like it could have been because they put more effort into things like Island Sanctuary, this expansion, and the relic fell by the wayside.
Mhm.
Like these are things that we haven't had in previous expansions, and the Criterion dungeons as well.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
maybe it's just like they didn't like plan around doing something special for it.
Right.
People
Which
would
is
have complained if
unfortunate,
there
but-
wasn't one. And there are enough sympathizers in this game to say, well, it was fine.
Yeah.
So I think they've probably got away with it, even if we don't like it.
I think there's one thing that we haven't really touched on that much, and that is the story for the relic, because that isn't much either, right?
No,
What,
I
you mean
agree.
not the
I-
putting aside Hildebrand.
Yes, putting
Yeah,
aside Hildebrand, just the
Yeah, it's
Manderville
just,
story.
it's just oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just oil.
And-
I
Why are the meteorites involved?
I don't know.
That I will. Someone said it in chat too. I think it's so funny that Varian Criterion dungeons are like they're lacking rewards, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the relic here, which is lacking like content. They're literally
Yeah.
like
Yep.
made to go together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
agree. It's
Absolutely.
baffling.
I would be
Yeah.
so happy doing the Criterion Dungeons and finishing off the lore I haven't got with it. If it meant I'd also get progress on it, like it would work so well for me personally to do that because I don't like doing Criterion Dungeons.
That's
Yeah.
very
that
fair.
much.
I will say the quality of the story matches the quality of the relic.
Yeah.
A
It's so
joke.
true.
Yeah, because
Yeah. Yeah.
because I could maybe have forgiven the shitty way of obtaining the relic if the story was at least good, but it is just like homoerotic oiling
I
up
wouldn't even
of,
say
of
that.
men.
Oh,
It's just a one joke storyline.
It is, yeah.
Oil.
Yeah.
Oil and sweat.
Yeah.
Blood and tears
Yeah.
and doing squats.
Yeah.
How have they managed to absolutely nail, ever since they tried the what were they called in A Realm Reborn? Lucis tools or something.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
The crafter and gatherer ones, and they were like, well, that didn't work out, let's not do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shadowbringers came along, Skysteel tools, pretty decent story, but incredible grind, really
Yes.
well made. And then now they've done Crystarium tools, incredibly good, funny little story with the same brilliant grind. They've nailed Crafter Gatherer.
Like we said,
How have they not nailed normal relic?
yeah, they managed to make a great crafter relic story and process. I mean, if you like crafting, obviously acquired taste.
Oh, of course
there,
you
but
have to be into it, but you don't have to do any fighting for this one.
no. And Grenold, the story with Grenold and what's her name?
Moen.
It's so
Fantastic. Love it. It's worth it. I don't even. I honestly barely remember any story beats from the relic other than Geralt going, "Why are you shirtless?" All the time. Why are you in your underwear? And then oiling up the oil up sequence, which
Yeah.
always happens, and the disgusting sweat scene,
Yeah.
where he gets like
The
a
story is
drop of
just
sweat.
I'm looking at old documents.
Yeah,
Godbert had Geralt fight a little mammoth once.
he did.
Oh,
But
yeah.
even that was kind of underwhelming though, because it was like I'm not invested.
It was rigged anyway.
Yeah,
It was rigged.
yeah, it was. Anyways, that is
disappointing relic.
sad
but
to see the end of the relic. Probably.
whoever's
possibly.
working on the Crafter Gatherer ones, ask them for
Good
some
job.
tips.
Yeah, you need communicate with them. I don't even
They're
know.
quite good at grind systems.
Imagine if this was your project on the team to do this relic. How embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah, I would.
to be
I'd say
honest,
right now,
original
don't put this on your
suicide.
LinkedIn. Yeah, don't put this
To
on your
be
LinkedIn.
honest,
It's not very good.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a sole project they were assigned. It was like they asked the person doing the Hildebrand stuff, like, you also have to do this.
Possibly.
Oh well, they're not. They're only good at story.
All I
writing.
know is tomes.
Yeah. People like tomes.
How
right?
many is your lot of tomes? 1,500. That sounds loads. That'll be great. They'll be grinding for years for that.
That's
Make
only
it
500 off the
next
cap.
You all have tomes, right? Okay. Right. Well, that is
That's not random.
the relic rip. Let's
Ripperoni.
pray they fix it again and bring it back in 7.0.
Please.
And don't worry, we will complain about the relic. That is the nature of the relic. No one will
But it's
ever
not
be
a bad
happy.
complaint.
But this is like a sad complaint because they've
Yeah.
killed it here. There is nothing to.
Satisfying.
There's no
Yeah.
satisfying aspect to this. So, okay. On that note, we might have to skip Let's see.
We have to get through the main story,
we have to.
but
So
it's not a huge amount.
I actually don't know what we have rendered for Mogmail right now because of the situation. So
That's
we
fine.
might want to just skip it for now
Yeah,
and
okay.
then go
Yeah.
straight into main story.
Let's do-
All right, so
that's
let's
fine.
do that. We'll read it next week. I'll have it all sorted by then. All right. The 6.4 website has been updated again, and it has a lot of new stuff in it. It has pictures or screenshots and some story information. And
It's the first major, it's not just a list anymore.
no. So let's
It's
see.
stage 2 of and there'll be a stage 3, and
Yeah.
then there'll be some post-stage updates where they add in the
Oh shit!
renders.
This is where the
I know,
usurper thing is from.
that's where the usurper thing comes. I noticed that when I opened it up as well.
In shadow
Ah.
looms the usurper's seat. There it is. That's where that comes in. All right. For main scenario quest, the Dark Throne, we have some pictures. There's what's his name? Almost called-
Aaronville.
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 And Kryl, Zero, And it's
Elephant
her.
on the moon. Elephant on the
Elephant
moon.
on the moon.
Elephant on the moon.
Yes, we've
What you
taken
gonna
the
do?
alchemist to the moon.
What's her name again? Shit.
Nitana.
Yes, Nitana and Y'shtola, and some looks like
Some-
Thavnarians.
Yeah, maybe they're alchemists.
They're probably alchemists
Yeah,
from her.
alchemists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the moon. So those are the pictures we have. Nothing really that sticks out. We knew that Erenville and Kroil were going to be in the MSQ. We've seen this picture of Zero before. I guess
That
this
one's
is the only
new.
thing that's
This is new.
sort of
This one's new. This one's a
Interesting.
little
I feel as
bit
if-
interesting.
yeah.
It is interesting. I suspect they're there because they're the ones that know the most about getting us to another shard, and considering the moon is where we want to be on the 13th,
Yeah.
this is probably the best point that they can use to get there.
Yes. There's a little.
Well, that's an interesting theory then. How did we get from the source to Lakeland? Where were we when we did that? We were in Mordona, weren't we?
We were in Mordona, which is the same
Which
area
is the
as
same. Yeah, that's
Lakeland.
interesting.
Yeah. That's true. There's a story bit here, or story. There's some text. With a gambit that would cost them their very lives, the archfiends Cagnazzo and Rubicante succeeded in destroying the Void Gate hidden within the depths of Alzadal's legacy, thus barring the path to the 13th. Yet where there's a will, there's a way. And so the Warrior of Light and allies continue the search for a new means to reach the Void. Yeah, that's that. For new challenges, there's a screenshot for Pandemonium and
Whoa!
Anabaseos.
Him.
Boy.
Anabaseus.
It's
It's man.
it's man.
Man with eyes of blue and
The
hair
boy
of white.
with the deepest voice ever.
Yes. The serene expanse of the ethereal sea is marred by the sudden appearance of Pandemonium, which has crossed eons to threaten the source of life itself. Its walls loom unmanned, but you know well what horrors once lay beyond them, and in the silence can hear a stirring.
Screenshot is interesting simply because we know that Pandemonium is currently in the present, whereas this requires one of two things. Either we go back to Elpis again, to go and, I guess, try and fix it before it happens, or two, he somehow is in the ethereal sea in the present.
Yes. We should mention
that second option is very terrifying.
for audio listeners
He's
the
also-
pictures of Elidibus. No, I keep
Little
calling him
Themis.
Elidibus. What's his name?
He is Elidibus.
No, he is Elidibus.
He is also
What was his
Themis.
other Themis? That's his
Themis,
other
yeah.
name.
Themis.
Okay.
He's in the first area before you fight Ericthonius,
Right.
Hmm.
Yes.
where I can't remember what that was called, but he's there
Yeah.
Yes.
with the cages. So, what would be the best situation? I think probably there'll be some time travel thing where we have to go back and stop whatever caused it to go into the future, rather than him being in the present, because that would just be ridiculous and wild.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Can
still
you
in the. Well, actually, he would be in the live stream on the first if he
No,
was.
he's not in the live stream at all. Suppose what he said was that his ether was completely used up, such that similar to what's it called? Similar to with Vanar and Heidelin, once she was used up, she was gone and she
Yeah.
could never rejoin the live stream.
Mhm.
I'm
But-
saying that even. Oh, sorry.
This is the expansion of Dynamis, where magic things can happen.
Anything your
true, I
memories
guess.
give him form again.
Yes.
For
We've
the
already
power
done
of
that
love.
once,
Very Kingdom Hearts.
Layla, with Emmett Selk and Hitlerdeus.
True.
That's true.
True.
But that was in a place rife with
You-
dynamis.
Yeah,
You
that
pray
was
on the little rock, and it gives you your bud
Mm.
again.
We still don't really understand how the ethereal sea works, Mela.
That's
There's a little
true,
ether
but
there.
the name is ethereal. It's not the
Mm.
dynamic sea. That's
Right.
a different
That'd be
one.
a good name too.
Yeah. Well, we will see.
I'm probably going to err on your first option as there's a time loop that we have to resolve rather than
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
him being.
I mean, we
in
still
the-
have. Remember, we still have that crystal that
Oh, that got
but-
thrown through.
yeah. That,
Yeah.
Maybe
that
we
started this
throw
whole
it
thing.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That will be such an Alexander thing for them
Ooh.
to do.
What
Yeah.
if that crystal has, similar to how Graha put a part of himself and we were able to bring him over from the first, what if that is how we are able to have Elidibus continue living in the same way that, because as of right now, there is no Elidibus, but maybe there is one in that crystal.
Oh.
Yeah,
There you go.
possible.
There's
there you
a few
go.
more
That's
black and
something to
whites for you,
ponder on.
Mikhail.
Yeah. The problem is that we can only really do black and white moments if it's really something that we've... Because I will never remember where to find this. That's
Oh,
the
no.
problem.
I think someone has to
Just
tell
to
us,
say it
honestly.
now.
Yeah.
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 Whatever.
Okay, new dungeon, the Ether Font. Whoa! Showed up
Don't
immediately.
Spook.
Good lord.
Spoilies. We got to start with
Well, this
these
is
nice
the one we've
polar
seen.
bears.
We've seen
Yeah,
this, but now we're like
we've seen this
further.
one.
No, we were always this far
Cute.
away. I
That's
think.
yeah.
Cute little polar bears
Nice
playing
polar
patty cake
bears.
in the background.
Yeah, but
Wanna
Yeah.
oh
have some
no!
Coca-Cola.
Oh no!
Oh no! There's a bad polar
The
bear.
polar bears turn evil in the cave of blue trees and mushrooms.
It looks kind of corrupted-ish. Like, is this?
It's the wrong type
It's
of
also
corrupted for crystal, though,
purple.
isn't it? Like it's purple.
Is it like
Corrupted crystals
Dynamis?
are always yellowy.
Is it like
Is that
Dynamis
Gordius
purple?
gear?
Purple is lightning aspected.
It
if
does
that
look a little
is crystal.
Gordian.
Oh yeah, that's true. It is probably just thunder
Is the
aspected.
Rollo? If the tombstone gear is Gordius
It's the deep.
reskinned,
It's
Oh,
it's the deep
yes.
shadow gear reskin.
Oh.
Imagine they brought back fucking Gordius gear.
That would have been
Dungeon drop.
awful.
that would be a ridiculous.
Yeah.
What is there to say about this? What is that like weird blue
Yeah.
rock?
I
And then
don't-
like the gate thing above it, and
Oh, well, yeah.
that's. I
I
mean,
mean
that's.
that's Charlene.
I think
But
that's
the
just
blue rock's weird.
whatever the blue rock is. I don't know, but that's obviously gonna explode and show a passage when you've finished
Yeah.
the boss. But yeah, I don't know what it is.
The bus looks
It's
cool.
a cool bear with some crystal-like shit on
I
him.
feel like he's got I don't know, the texture on the nose looks funny, but
Yeah. It's
oh,
alright,
yeah,
I
it
like
looks
boss.
cool.
Yeah. There's some text. There's some information here. North of the Charlian mainland lies the verdant Isle of
Ham.
Ham,
Smells like moss.
Mm.
a
Makes
land
paper.
a land long protected by the Forum as an academic asset due to its abundant wells of ether. Yet with plenty often comes peril, and what awaits will not so readily relinquish its claim to the island's lifeblood.
We've called this the ether font in English,
Yes.
whereas Japan, and at least in the French client, the name of this dungeon is just Isle of Ham.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cowards! Why did you not let it be called Isle of Ham in
Yeah.
English?
It's
Agreed.
Going to Ham Islands today.
yeah.
Yeah, Ham Island.
Yeah.
Also, based on that description, it feels very side like.
Oh.
plot.
Yeah. I
Oh, there's
guess.
been an
You say-
accident on the Isle of Ham.
But we don't know why we're going there though. Like, is there something?
No, I
happened.
want to know what the obviously the accident will tie in, but on the face of it, that doesn't
I-
sound very
Well,
pressing.
I feel like it might be more important than you think because like there's not a lot of places that are like supposedly super abundant with ether.
Hmm.
I don't think it's a very
That's
common
true.
thing.
It could be like another
Island.
like Mordonan levels of.
Well,
Yeah,
it, lo-
like
it looks like it literally has ether pouring out of the center of it, so that's quite a significant amount of ether. I would
might be
say.
like a direct link to the ethereal sea too. I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe this is a new angle we can go in from.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we'll
yeah,
see.
that's the ether font, which in our hearts will always be just Isle of
The
Ham.
purple color, obviously, also there is a chance that's void related, and that could be why
Hmm.
it ties into the plot.
Mhm.
That is possible. There's a little blurb for Containment Base Z1T9 Unreal, which is
Hey.
Zervan. The foe commander bids you regale him with another tale, and from the ashes of memory does Zervan the demon rise again. Steeling yourself for a fiery battle, you cast your mind to the cacophonous clash of good and evil, the war eternal.
eternal.
You said
Great
the
fun.
thing.
Yeah, so we don't need to
If
go into
we
that.
don't skip Saw, we will disband
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Well,
until we can
see,
skip Saw.
Mela, no, we probably will. Most people will probably never be able to skip SoH
Mm.
because of functionally how these work. The eye level is always only within like a 5-point range.
Right.
People were skipping SoH day one.
Mm.
Skip
Because
SoH.
they significantly outgeared Mela. This is
I will
equivalent
not
to
accept
doing it at
I will not
minimum
accept
eye
that,
level.
Yogi. I will not accept. No, skip SoH or disband.
Or you
Bring
can
toxicity back to 14.
you can vote kick whoever says that in the party.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, let's go against them.
Additional duty support expanded for base Stormblood. The duty support system has been expanded to include 5 dungeons from Stormblood. In Crimson Sunset, do heroes rise, and the Warrior of Light must join with Lys, Hien, Gosetsu, and their Scion allies to bring peace to Alamigo and Doma once more. The duties newly added to the duty support system are as follows: the Siren Song Sea, Bardam's Metal, Doma Castle, Castrum Albania, and Alamigo. Further updates will be progressively
Albania.
implemented in future patches. Yeah. Albania, Castrum Albania.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
It's funny to go like imagine you're a new player. Oh, patch notes. Oh, massive spoilers for the future. Oh my god, massive spoilers. Quick, where's the bit I need? Yeah. Additional duty support. Okay, I can keep playing through Shadow Ring or Stormblood.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That is all.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah. Now, what's next week? We will have a live letter, and we will obviously have a lot more.
Next week's going to be the big one.
Next
ladies
week's going to
and
be
gentlemen.
hellish.
It'll probably be an XL episode.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
in all likelihood.
Yes. That is a big live letter. So yeah, make sure you catch that. We will be back next week, same time. No, not same time. So next week on Sunday.
Time.
At the same time, it is 9 p.m. Central European time. That's 8 p.m. BST.
Same time, different day.
Same time,
But
different
same
day.
place.
But the same place. Twitch.
So technically, same place, same time is correct. It'll just be
technically
different
yes, but confusing because
Very
it's
confusing.
a different day.
I hope you're not confused after all this. It'll be the 14th at 8 p.m. BST.
Yeah, that's so hopefully we'll see you then. Yeah, stay tuned if you're watching live for the post show. We'll be answering questions from the syndicate. Yeah, that's that. We'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.